So, I don't know really where to begin today, other than to first and foremost make it a point to make very, very clear to one particular individual that I do love her very, very much, and if she has any doubt about this, I'm going to smack her. Anyway, so, but beyond that, there's some other issues that I find troubling. And that is the depth of loneliness that people experience today. Like, I've actually seen instances where people will piss on an elevator floor so they know it's going to be there for the whole weekend, to somehow feel they exist. Like, I get my existence by my ability to irritate others. Like, that's not a very high level of consciousness, can we agree here? Like, that's not as high level of consciousness as an asshole. An asshole is a much higher level of consciousness than that. This is like a wall-climbing slug that's been stepped on level of consciousness. Can you see this? Like, and you know, being broke is no shame. When being poor is. Being poor is when I give up on me. And I said, where I come from is I don't count. Nothing I do matters. And so why not, you know, I can't make any difference. I don't exist. Nobody recognizes me. Nobody sees me. Nobody loves me. Nobody understands me. And nobody wants to. Nobody has any interest in me. So what I'm going to do is just bug or fuck with other shit, because I can't invent anything on my own. Do you see how close to personality type Charles Manson represents, and I'm not saying is, but represents. That is. We have people today that are so perverse that if one listened to their rhetoric, they'd be quite willing to burn women at the stakes that took pleasure in breastfeeding. Since when did pleasure become haram? Because not in the Muslim world. There's no person that believes in God that would feel that way. But then, you know, if you take a look at my blog, one of my most recent posts, there's a young black kid being told basically to fuck off by some born-again Christian hopeful for being black and hanging around just beyond the edge of his property, fishing in a pond that really didn't belong to the young black gentleman. And his little sister as well, I believe. Now, if I couldn't help but think, you know, as I watched this video progress, and if I were the same age as the young man in question, maybe 22 years old, I got my 9-year-old sister out with me, and we're fishing in a pond, right? This cracker comes up to me and starts mouthing off the way he was. Get out of my life. Get out of my property. Oh, not my property. Don't sass me, boy. You know. So talking to the young man in this tone of voice, I'm proud of it to boot. I'm just raging, you know, closet queen, but like I've never met closet queens that are that degenerate. Like this man was ugly and wanted to get his ugliness on anything that was young, vital, and beautiful. Everything he wasn't. Jealous. The guy's jealous of the kid. That never occurred to me until just now. So anyway, as I'm watching this, I'm thinking, black niggers are getting harder and harder to find every day. I just can't seem to find one. But god damn, white niggers is all over the place, and they're waving flags about it being banned, but practically triumphant with this stupidity. It's clearly costing them any wiggle in their noodle whatsoever. Like even the little girl, the 9-year-old girl says, he's silly, isn't he? This guy's just silly. And it's pretty disappointing when I see men my age and older who are obviously beyond help in the very clear diagnosis of a 9-year-old girl, and she's right. I can't hold out hope for these people. I mean, it would be nice. It would be nice to not have to, close the door on anybody. But, think of it. Like, would you, he's as close to Charlie Manson in white man's drag as I've ever seen. Caught on video by some little black kid fooling around camera. Right? And I think you should take a look at that. I don't remember where it is on YouTube, but anyway, it's on my blog. And also my first fan mail is on my blog as well. You'll be delighted. Some of you will be delighted to see this, and some of you others will be amused. And the thing is, you're stupid. If you're watching this, you need to understand this is addressed to you. You are living in a stupor of your own moral deformity, basically. Every lie you told, every invalidation you ever uttered, the secret ones, the ones you never want to ever tell anybody because nobody ever knew. Well, guess what? You want spiritual movement. That's your baggage. You need to let that go. And there is only one way to do this, and that is through the worship of the truth. Forget about God, forget about archangels, forget about everything else for now. None of you, I'm just going to popes, archbishops, queens, fucking, say one, anyone holding himself forth as having or even knowing or cognizing any nobility. Put it this way, if you know how to put on a pair of shoes, or you don't, but you can imagine what if and why, this concerns you. You're stupid. You have no idea who you are, why you are here, what health is, what mental health is, what emotional health is, what any kind of anything is. You don't even know whether the goddamn earth is moving around the sun or the sun is moving around the earth. You understand? Your high-tech shit has got you with your head up so far up your ass. Primitive African tribes, present-day primitive African tribes, and told about you think you're perverts, and they're right. Bang on. It's interesting, you got Sigmund Freud and, Humboldt, not even the chief, some, group of women, basically, and guys hanging around dealing with their cattle that are hand in hand, are asked a question, so what do you think of men getting sexually aroused by women's breasts? Right? And not like that, but they cover them up and make it illegal to see them. And do you understand? Like, this conversation may have taken, 3.5 minutes before you get these people, what are we talking about here? Oh, well, those people are crazy and what else? Perverted. So, this is the diagnosis from Sigmund Freud in 1908, right through 1938. Never changed that diagnosis, an iota, nor has any psychiatrist since. Think of this. You ask your doctor, I'm healthy, can you make me healthier? What you have today are disease managers who profit from you being sick, and who profit from selling you things that you basically do not need. But they've got it figured out so that it sort of makes some kind of fiat sense if you really, really stretch ethics, logic, and history. Anyway, that suffices for governance protocol in the home of the free and the brave today. Now, any man who has, I can't imagine a single brave man living in a country where that vomit is being held forth by my king. Anyway, you understand, like, that's a big fat no-no. So, anyway, so, considering all this stuff, I'm thinking, well, what's going to work? Like, what's going to get through? See, the thinking is Jesus knew somebody was coming, and Muhammad knew somebody was coming, and somebody's been coming for quite a while, and and the thing is, it's happened, and it's here, and it's already done, it's already underway, it's a physical, it's an already existent thing, and it's bogeying. It's Julian right along. Anyway, with or without you. Now, I would like to be with you, but I'm not going to exercise your free will for you. Nor is Jesus, nor is Lord Buddha, nor is Krishna, nor is Rami, nor is anybody else, like your grandfather, or your great-grandfather, no ancestor. Nobody can do this for you but you yourself. It is a requirement, a spiritual requirement of transformation. And this is not a requirement that you choose to engage in transformation, but it's a requirement that you choose yes or no. Now, today, this is the day. And you need to understand what you're choosing to do is you're choosing to henceforth worship the true. Not reasonably, not if it's not inconvenient, not as long as it's comfortable, but this is a tautological worship of trueness beginning in myself. And the complete disclosure of any theft, any misdirection, misappropriation, mishandling, misguidance I've ever authored or participated in or colluded with or known about and didn't stop. I need to admit to where germane, to individuals germane, all of them. And if I'm a public figure, it needs to be done publicly. Like on your TV, publicly, not newsprint. People need to see your eyes when you apologize. I need to see your eyes when you apologize. I'm very interested in this. is kind of like a 7-year puke. There's nothing sacrosanct here. There are no secrets. Military, intelligence, national security, all of it. Everybody's going to know what everybody's been doing to everybody else completely, hands down, slam dunk, and apologies, appropriate apologies given, reparations made where appropriate. And certain sentencing will be carried out, unfortunately. You need to understand. You are an individual entity. You have a combination of possibilities present inside of you. And you can choose to ignore them the way the cracker does in his interaction with the young black gentleman. Who has a grandfather, makes all kinds of space for this guy to be an asshole, right? The guy pushes him, you know. I don't think I would have been as gentle as that young black gentleman was. Whether the cracker was white, black, pink, green. Any man does that to me in front of my little sister. Oh, particularly when he's got no business doing it. And I was 22 years old. He'd be in the hospital. He'd be unconscious. He would be one blow out. Instantly. And that option was 100% of the time available to that young black gentleman. And he chose not to do it. He barked at the guy who pushed him back. God, I love that kid. Whoever's raising him is doing a hell of a good job. Thank you. Anyway, getting back to the rest of this stuff. Like, how is this gonna get through? Like, I don't have forever to get this done. I got 5.5 years left. And all of you, on a good day, have the consciousness level of wall climbing slugs. And the reason for this is your integrity is so low, it's pretty much non-existent. Like, we need to breathe integrity into your bone marrow. Without it, you're beasts. You see, and Muhammad had something to say for me. He said, you know what? Remember this. Think of this. You know, if God had been straight with you about how fucked they were, and how many of them, you wouldn't have done the job, would you? And you know what? He's got a very good point. Like, I didn't suspect that the dementia was as deeply attractive to you as you seem to claim that it is. Like, I thought anyone would want to be relieved of, you know, arthritis, migraine headaches, cancer, you know, TMJ, Crohn's disease, ulcers, heart disease, you know, many types of mental challenges, panic attacks, you know, anxiety, stress disorders. You see, underneath the ideas that you worship are the sensation that you worship, or the sensations that you worship. Like, the alcoholic is not addicted to the alcohol per se. He's addicted to the sensation the substance produces, or the memory of the sensation the substance produces inside himself. And so the substance is extraneous. That's people say, well, I have an addictive personality. That's someone who's prone to addiction. Now, that's different than someone that's prone to sin. You remember we spoke before that sin is simply that which proves true for gain, a perceived gain. It doesn't matter whether it's gain or not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I'm losing. If I'm trying to gain and I'm treating the true, I'm sinful. I'm in the prosecution of sin. And what the ancients knew was that that's profitless conduct. And this is what Muhammad's saying, Jesus is saying, Lord Buddha is saying, I'm saying, George Harrison was saying, any man who's loved you will say the same thing. And you figured you gotta listen later. Well, later's over now. And right now you're choosing the next 1,000 years for yourself in your origination orientation. Now, you can decide that, you know what, this guy's crazy, he has no idea what he's talking about, I'm not going to pay attention to a single thing he says, and that's a complete prerogative to do so. Matter of fact, I'm going to war to defend your right to choose to think however you choose. And what I'm going to suggest to you is, now's not the time to be flippant. Right? Now's not the time to be disregarding subtle suggestion. I beg you, consider your position in this. Your position will be manifest in direct relation to your choice. Understand? If you continue to worship illusion of the menu of life, you will starve in death and feed war. For sure. If you choose to worship the true inside yourself, the true inside yourself first, you need to get to know yourself. This is hard going for many of you. This is not easy stuff we're talking about. It's hard work. But we said before, remember this, the mud I got for free. Okay? I want the promised land. I want paradise. I want a nurtured, fully integrated mind, body, spirit. I want to soar. I want to soar home with the archangels. I want to be full time. How God intended me to be. And royally in the presence of God Himself. I mean, this is what I want. Okay? And what I'm saying to you is, it's possible. But you cannot do that and be full of shit at the same time, basically, is the deal. And so, anything you ever stole, give it back, apologize, make restitution if you can't. Give it back, right? But apologize, and if you can't make restitution, make plans to make a restitution. Never deny your indebtedness for your crimes. No. Not smart. Excuses don't really pay too well. Altered conduct, altered origination, heightened creativity, heightened ingenuity, heightened integrity, heightened intuition are capable of yielding manna from heaven, basically. So, if you're watching this, and you've come this far, it's your day. Choose. From this breath forward, any moment you deviate from worship of the true will cost you altitude. Some would argue permanently. I pray that's not the case. But trust this. You're watching this. You've watched this far. Today's your day. If you say, this Blake Cushing guy, I don't trust him, you sell something. I'm selling $3. A fourth one just about done. But you don't have to buy them. You get them online for free. They're like, I'm not selling you this stuff. You need to understand this. You come here because you're interested, you're curious, or you want to get even, or whatever. But you come here and you listen. And I need you to understand that I doubt very much whether you will ever find untruth in here. Like, I will never knowingly speak a lie to you, particularly this way. You know, this is like writing for me. This is like my signature on whatever I speak. And if I'm dead, I would lose 100% of any authority that I enjoy. I would lose 100% of any advantage in wit that I may be able to glean for myself. I would lose any and all claim to the health-enhancing properties they currently live with. I'm having really, really good health. And I'm an old man. You know what? Human beings have been designed to last for 150 years. Like, you guys have given up at 50, 60 years old. You know, like, just think of it. Out of work doctors. Wouldn't that be great? All of them. And any doctor who doesn't like that idea should come and have a conversation with me. Anyone who's holding themselves forth as teacher or doctor or anyone else who worships his paycheck more than his service obligation. Well, they have a special interest to us. The next 5.5 years, right? Now, I want you to understand, if it's absolutely necessary, 5.5 can take 21. I'll be humiliated, and so will you. But trust me. 7 billion people clean on the inside in 5.5 years is the goal here. Clean on the inside. And I promise you some intuition. some circulation. At least a 30% increase in health and vitality. And 100% more fulfilling intercourse politically, socially, jurisdically, and economically. Now, a lot of things are going to need to change. The bullshit needs to end. Proof. The whoring of principle, jurisprudence, government, and economics are over. I'd like to bring some fresh children to this planet. And I'm not doing it in this muck. So, you're perfectly welcome to think I'm a crazy lunatic. But do you think the slightest thing that I've said is true? I'm going to continue to look deeper and see if you can find a lie in here. Because I'd like to know if there is one. I can't find one. Now, maybe I'm not as smart as you. I like it when someone can find flaw in an argument I put forward, an origination that I create. I welcome constructive, creative criticism. I just don't welcome niggers pissing on my knee. Basically, of any kind, of any stripe. I don't care whether you're juristic drag or red, white, and blue, or green and orange, or it doesn't matter. For me, you're all the same problem. But what I have noticed is that some of you have more ingenious and workable governance protocols than others. And my goal, our goal, is at the end of 21 years, we have a place I can feel proud to call home. Maybe see a few grandkids running around. That is, if some little pervert, some little twisted, demented, Texan or Lithuanian or Russian or Maltese, Monganite, chucks his resting on a pistol and squirts his little lead semen into my bum, my brain. And then, basically, if that gets happened, certainly before the next 7 years, 5.5 years is over. You don't, it's not a good idea. If you want to do that to me, wait. Let me at least get half this job started. Just let me there. Alright. Like, it wouldn't be prudent. After 21 years, you know what? Doesn't matter. And even the next 5.5, like, you need a miracle of instruction. And I don't care who you are, Rhodes Scholar, physician, physicist extraordinaire, fucking math nerd, computer engineer, levitator, monk, missionary, pope, princess, or poet, cab driver, garbage man, prison guard, or stevedore. You belong to me. every blade of grass, every cloud, every fish, every ocean, every drop of water, fresh and salty, is ours. And you've been molesting them with theoretical impunity because you had this delusion that there was such a thing as anonymity. Now, I don't know who told you that, but it wasn't anybody that I hang out with. Know of. Must have been one of your side of the family. Anyway, you bought into it. And that's going to be very expensive for some of you. But everything passes. You need to remember this, no matter how expensive it is. If you're worshiping the true, it all ends somewhere else. And it's not sadness. It's not empty. And it's not unnoticed and alone. Okay. Which is where you are now. So anything is pretty much better than that. Let me say this. If you're truthful, you've got to acknowledge you're stupid. You don't have the wits that you were born with as a child. A child has the intuition to know that stuff feels good, it's good. It's beaten out of children by the time they're 3 years old, so they're perverted beyond what's... You know, I don't think Sigmund Freud knew what mental health was. I don't think there's any psychiatrist. I don't think there's anybody today, other than perhaps a handful of individuals that have the slightest, vaguest clue what mental health could be. But I'm here to tell you, it's inside of you now. It's desperate to be let out. And all you gotta do to open the door of your own jail is begin and continue and deepen your worship of the true from this moment with every breath forward. So, or not. But the deal is, you gotta choose. And the choice is yours. Not mine. Not Jesus. Not Lord Buddha. Not God's. Not Angel Gabriel's. Yours. Mine. We gotta choose. So what's it gonna be, kids? Are you up for this? Or you want your blankie?